From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day, this is Dateline Malacañang, and here are the news. The Philippines now has a world-class World Health Organization certified, verified Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team that can effectively respond to disasters here and abroad, according to the Department of Health or DOH. A composite medical assistance team sent by the Philippine government to Myanmar following a 7.7 magnitude earthquake was presented to the public during a press briefing in Malacañang. Majority of the team members are from the Eastern Visayas region. Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa said, the Philippines is proud to deploy the team within 48 hours, faster than Singapore, Southeast Asia's most well-off country. The team was also able to set up a field hospital in 6 hours. Aside from the Philippines, Japan, Singapore, and Indonesia also sent their respective medical teams. Currently, there are teams in several parts of the country, one in Central Luzon, one in Metro Manila, and one in the Visayas region. The DOH is also developing teams in Southern Philippines Medical Center and Cotabato Regional Medical Center for Mindanao. Herbosa added that they are planning to establish more medical responders all over the country. The Philippine team provided medical services to people affected by the 7.7 magnitude tremor that hit Myanmar. The team was able to provide adequate support and relief in 10 days of the 14-day deployment. Aside from the medical responders, Herbosa said, the Philippines also sent a 6-man team for psychosocial support of Filipinos based in Yangon.
So with the help of the Office of Civil Defense and our Air Force, mabilis tayo naka-respond. So I think world-class tayo if you tell me na in the ASEAN region, 3 lang yung inaccept nila. They only accepted the Philippine team, the Japanese team, and the Singapore. And then later, Indonesia na-allow din. Later, nagpadala din ng Indonesia. Pero tayo ang una. We are really supplying the world not only with nurses, but with doctors and staff that are good in disaster risk reduction and management. So talagang isa to sa ating pinagmamalaki. Kasi nga, battle-tested. Most of our personnel, hindi urong yan. Ang kwento nga sa akin ni Ivy. Sabi ko, tinatanong ko, meron bang natakot? May umiyak ba? May nahirapan? Hindi daw. Mga experience naman lahat. We also had teams from the Turkey, yung Turkey mission, nakasama na in-embed namin doon para merong may experience. Pero, nagpadala din kami the day before ng 6-man team for psychosocial support of the Filipinos in Yangon. So, may psychosocial team ako from National Center for Mental Health that are there processing our citizens na medyo affected by the disaster in Myanmar. So tuloy yung assistance.
Philippine Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa.
Dateline Malacañang.
As the Holy Week exodus began, immigration counters at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA Terminal 3 are operating smoothly without the usual long lines awaiting travelers. Presidential Communications Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said. Castro said this is in line with the directive of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to ensure comfortable and efficient travel for passengers. The Bureau of Immigration, or BI, Manila International Airport Authority, or MIAA, MIA, New NAIA Infrastructure Corporation, or NNIC, and the Department of Transportation, or DOTR, collectively made the efforts to ease congestion at the immigration counters. Castro said, all 44 immigration counters at NAIA Terminal 3 are open to speed up the immigration processes for departing passengers.
Wala ng pila sa immigration counters sa NAIA Terminal 3, kahit sa oras ng rush hour. Mas madali na para sa mga departing passengers ito. Kasunod ng utos ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na makapagbigay ng mas maginhawang biyahe sa mga pasahero ngayong Holy Week. nagtulungan ang mga ahensya ng Bureau of Immigration, MIAA, NNIC at Department of Transportation para maibsan ang mahabang pila sa immigration counters. Ang sabi ng Pangulo, gawin nating convenient at safe ang travel experience ng ating mga pasahero at ito ang mabilis na sagot ng mga concerned agencies upang mapagaan at mapabilis ang immigration processing sa ating paliparan.
According to the BI, they are expecting around 50,000 travelers per day during the peak season.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Police or PNP declared on Tuesday that our streets are safe as it asserted that there is a significant decline in crimes nationwide. During the Malacañang press briefing, Police Major General Roderick Augustus Alba, PNP Director for Police Community Relations, addressed perceptions of and concerns about high crime rate in the country. Alba said the PNP's evaluation is based on verified crime statistics, not public perception or political messaging. He reported that from January to April 2025, crime incidents dropped by 26% compared to the same period last year. Alba assured that our streets are safe in response to queries whether it is still safe to travel amid reports of increasing crime incidents.
Yes, of course, this creates a lot of perception. But sa amin po sa PNP ay tuloy-tuloy lang pong aming kampanya against all forms of lawlessness. But we can only speak of our what we have, no, yung ating crime statistics, which we actually reported a few days or few weeks ago, where it covers January to April of 2025 as compared to last year, where we have a big decrease of 26% sa aming crime statistics. So we stick with the reality, what we have now, yung aming data. All that we see, minsan we are misinformed and disinformed, but we respect, no, sabi ko nga, yung perception ng ating community, but we speak of our duties na dapat naming pinapatupad, and we should not be affected by these negativities kung mayroon man. Of course, time to time, mayroon tayong mga crimes na naging highly sensationalized na hindi kaagad ma-solve, but these are acted upon immediately, and for us, it does not represent the entire situation of our country.
Police Major General Roderick Augustus Alba.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Police or PNP has launched Ligtas Sumvac 2025 or Safe Summer Vacation, the public safety and security program of the PNP for the Lenten season this year. During a Malacañang press briefing, Police Major General Roderick Augustus Alba, PNP Director for Police Community Relations, said Ligtas Sumvac 2025 is in partnership with other law enforcement agencies and aimed at ensuring a safe, peaceful and meaningful observance of Holy Week. More than 65,000 policemen have been strategically deployed nationwide, focusing on key areas of convergence, including transport terminals, airports and seaports, highways, churches and pilgrimage sites, tourist destinations, and residential areas left unattended during the holidays. These efforts are supported by force multipliers, including volunteer groups, as well as mobile patrols and enhanced police visibility in critical and densely populated areas. The PNP is mobilizing its forces nationwide to maintain law and order from April 1 to May 31, 2025. They will focus on increasing police visibility, intensifying patrol operations, and enhancing coordination with other government agencies and local government units. Alba also assured the public there are no validated threats to public safety this Holy Week, but said the PNP remains on full alert, especially in historically vulnerable areas.
But on the part of the PNP, we remain on full alert, especially in historically vulnerable areas. Our intelligence units are closely coordinating with the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Kasama namin dito yung Philippine Coast Guard to preempt any threats from any groups would want to magkaroon po ng disorder yung ating bansa. So as to our vital installations, we all have also increased deployment of our personnel around power plants, communication infrastructure, and transportation terminals. We're also closely coordinating with private security groups and local crisis management councils. Sinabi po natin, Good Secretary kanina, mayroong mga possible road mishaps, sea mishaps. Ito po ay aming pinagpreparahan sa ngayon on the part of the Philippine National Police.
In coordination with private security groups and local crisis management councils, Alba said the PNP is also prepared for possible road and sea travel incidents, ensuring readiness across all fronts.
Dateline Malacañang.
The National Food Authority or NFA announced that the Philippines is set to achieve food security, especially in rice supplies, with the country's buffer stock currently enough for more than 9 days. During a news briefing in Malacañang, NFA Administrator Larry Lacson stated that the Marcos administration's food security aims are being accomplished with considerable advances in the country's rice reserves. Lacson also bared plans to increase the rice buffer stock to 15 days this year in accordance with revisions to the rice tariff law. According to the NFA chief, the country now has 358,000 metric tons of rice, which is equivalent to 7.16 million bags. This is enough to feed the entire population for 9.36 days in the event of an emergency or supply disruption. As of March 31, the NFA had purchased 2.2 million bags of palay from farmers countrywide, totaling 2.6 billion Philippine peso.
The National Food Authority is happy to announce ng ating pong buffer stock sa kasalukuyan ay nasa 358,000 metric tons. O kung susumahin natin sa sako ng bigas, ito po ay katumbas ng 7.16 million bags of katumbas na bigas. Ang ibig pong sabihin yan, kung ito po ay maglalast ng 9.36 days, kaya pong pakainin ng buong Pilipinas ng mahigit 9 na araw. Pagdating naman po sa ating mga consumers, mababang presyo ng bigas, ang National Food Authority po ay mayroong programa together with the Department of Agriculture and the FTI, and with the cooperation of our LGUs, meron tayong tinatawag na 30 pesos per kilo na bigas sa merkado, sa mga participating LGUs. And at the same time, patuloy yung ating P29 o yung 20 pesos na bigas para sa ating mga vulnerable sectors. Sa ating mga magsasaka naman, alam naman natin, panahon ng anihan, marami ang nagbebenta sa National Food Authority. So sa first quarter of the year, ending March 31, nakaprocure na po tayo ng 2.2 million bags of palay. Katumbas po yan ng 2.6 billion pesos na po ang nabili natin para mula sa ating mga magsasaka. At patuloy pa po tayong namimili hanggang sa kasalukuyan.
To better support small farmers, the agency has improved its Fast Lane program, increasing the bag limit from 50 to 70 each transaction to accommodate more sellers.
Isa pong programa na pinatutupad natin at kasalukuyan nating in-improve ay yun pong Fast Lane for our small farmers. Dati po 50 bags lamang ang po pwede pababa. Ngayon itinaas natin to 70 bags pababa para mas ma-accommodate pa natin yung maraming magsasaka na gustong magbenta sa National Food Authority.
Philippine National Food Authority Administrator Larry Lacson.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, confirmed that Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. will witness one of the activities of the Balikatan Exercises 2025. This was announced by Army spokesperson and Exercise Director Brigadier General Michael Lohico in a press briefing at Camp Aguinaldo. However, Lohico declined to provide details as to which activity the President will attend, but expressed interest on the integrated air missile defense. Earlier, Lohico said preparations for the Balikatan is set and will be carried out in parts of northern and western Luzon, particularly the West Philippine Sea. Around 14,000 Filipino and American soldiers will participate in the so-called biggest exercise that centers on full battle test. The Balikatan Exercises 2025 will start April 21st and will last until May.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has signed a law extending the Manila Electric Company, or Meralco, concession for another 25 years, ensuring that the country's main electrical distributor will continue to operate until 2053. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin told reporters that the bill was signed on April 11. The Malacañang Records Office will distribute the official copy of the law after assigning it a Republic Act number. Meralco welcomed the development, describing it as a recognition of its role in driving the country's economic progress. The franchise extension will allow it to carry out long-term infrastructure projects and energy solutions critical to national development. He said that the renewed congressional mandate would allow Meralco to invest more in updating its distribution network, making it more resilient to climate-related interruptions, as well as implementing innovations to improve efficiency and customer experience. The power company thanked the president for his invaluable support, as well as both chambers of Congress for passing what it called a key measure for the energy sector. It reaffirmed its support for the government's nation-building efforts, stating that it will continue to operate with openness, regulatory compliance, and a strong sense of corporate social responsibility. Meralco's franchise, which was first given in 1903 and was last extended in 2003 under Republic Act 9209, spans Metro Manila, sections of Central Luzon, and Calabarzon, all of which are significant industrial and economic regions. Meralco's franchise is due to expire in 2028.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, has extended assistance to the families of 2 overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, who died in the 7.7 magnitude earthquake that struck Mandalay, Myanmar on March 28. Philippine Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak visited and personally met with the bereaved families over the weekend to convey the government's condolences and support on behalf of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. In a news release, Kakdak said the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, through the Philippine Embassy in Yangon, is currently working on the repatriation of the remains of the 2 OFWs. Aside from the financial assistance, Kakdak said the DMW would provide post-arrival support for the grieving families once the remains are brought back to the Philippines. Meanwhile, the DMW has reached out to other OFWs in Mandalay affected by the strong earthquake, assuring them of financial assistance through its Action Fund. The 2 fatalities are among the 4 OFWs earlier reported missing after the strong quake caused the collapse of the Sky Villa condominium, where some Filipinos reportedly reside. The massive quake also affected Thailand, where a high-rise construction site collapsed in the capital of Bangkok. No Filipinos were reported hurt in Thailand. Local media reported that the official death toll in Myanmar rose to 3,645 on Tuesday, with over 5,000 injured and 148 missing.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP announced that remittances from overseas Filipino workers or OFWs increased by 2.7% year-on-year in February 2025, reaching $2.72 billion, up from $2.65 billion the previous year. Central bank data showed total personal remittances, including in-kind remittances, reached $3.2 billion in February, up to 2.6% from $2.95 billion in February last year. In the first 2 months of the year, cash remittances increased by 2.8% to $5.63 billion, while personal remittances increased by 2.7% to $6.10 billion. While remittances continue to grow, Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation Chief Economist Michael Ricafort predicts hurdles for inflows in the coming months as a result of the Trump administration's protectionist policies. Ricafort, on the other hand, stated that because the Philippines is one of the greatest sources of seafarers and medical workers abroad, remittances will continue to be a strong growth engine in the local economy, boosting domestic expenditure.
Dateline Malacañang.
Finally, for Dateline Malacañang, the Philippines and Morocco commemorated 50 years of diplomatic relations with a joint commemorative stamp depicting the Mactan, Cebu, and Marrakesh Menara airports. In a news release, Philippine Postal Corporation or PhilPost Postmaster General Luis Carlos stated that the stamps represent a bridge connecting the country's aviation innovation and connectivity. The PhilPost stamp depicts the majestic architecture of Mactan, Cebu International Airport Terminal 2. Its wave-like roof structures resembles traditional Filipino bangka or boat canoes and is supported by huge glulam wood arches. Meanwhile, the Marrakesh Menara Airport's architecture blends modern and traditional Moroccan features such as Islamic arabesques and a high sweeping roof. On April 10, the Philippines and Morocco honored the 50th anniversary of their diplomatic ties.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that is all for today's Dateline Malacañang for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Bea Gaza-de Guzman.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila. Dateline Malacañang.